Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to another episode of my weekly gaming playlist series. We've made it to Friday again, so it's time for me to let you guys know about the games I've been playing, let you guys know my thoughts and opinions on the games, or if I think you guys should check them out or not. Of course, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts and your opinions on the games that I share with you today. I've got one game to share with you. I have one other one I'll talk about. The other one, which I've shared in the last two weeks of this series, I was playing the Dead Space remake. I actually beat that earlier this week. I really enjoyed that game, had a lot of fun with it. It took me a little over 20 some hours to beat it. I really enjoyed the game. I am started playing a little bit of a new game plus mode because I wanted to go through and get all the collectibles that I had missed, as well as I want to get the new secret ending that they added to the remake. So I definitely will be sharing that game here again in the future, but I'm actually taking a break from it as I wanted to play something new and pop in a new game. And I actually picked a game I have not played for 3 years. Last time I played this was in December of 2020, and it's a game I really love that I wanted to actually go back and beat, and so I'm working on beating that, and that is Mafia 3, which I am a huge fan of the Mafia series. I beat the Mafia Definitive Edition on Xbox One, and then I played Mafia 2 on Xbox 360, but it is backwards compatible on Xbox One and Series console, and I did play it on my Xbox One X and I beat it there. But I do need to go and beat the DLC for Mafia 2, so I did want to get that beat because I own the special version of it on the 360. It has the extra DLC and stuff, so I do need to play that and beat it. And once I beat that, I started playing actually Mafia 3 then, and I'm about halfway through the game, but I stopped playing it, and then I started resuming my game here now in July of 2023. Really fun game. So I'll read you guys from the back. It's 1968. New Bordeaux, Louisiana. The rules of organized crime have changed. After years of combat in Vietnam, Lincoln Clay knows this truth. Family isn't who you are born with, it's who you die for. When his surrogate family, the Black Mob, is betrayed and wiped out by the Italian Mafia, Lincoln builds a new family on the ashes of the old and blazes a path of revenge through the brutal criminal underworld responsible. Deliver military-grade revenge any way you want. Define a new breed of organized crime family. Own New Bordeaux, a seedy open world detailed with sights, sounds, and charged social atmosphere of the 1968 America. So this is in the South, so you are going to deal with racist assholes in the game because your character Lincoln Black is an African American male, so you are going to deal with racist Ku Klux Klan assholes and other people in the game. And just how things were in the 60s as they portray it the way it was. You know, they don't try to sugarcoat or anything. They wanted to make a real authentic experience. So I'm going to warn you, you will hear different kind of language and stuff, and the way people treat each other, the way they treat women and stuff, as they wanted to portray society the way it really was back in the 60s down in the South. But it has a really well-crafted story. I really love it. Lincoln Clay is an awesome protagonist. I like playing as him. Since he's a Vietnam soldier, he is very skilled at combat. So he's good with knives, weapons. He's good with his hands, grenades. So he's very sophisticated in his skills. And there's all kinds of customization and stuff because you can pick the different kind of weapons you want, add attachments. You can modify vehicles and drive around. So this is an open world Mafia game where Mafia 1 and 2 were very linear. I mean, they had some open world aspects to them, but you really just stuck to the main stories in those games. You did have collectibles and stuff you could get, but it was really about just playing the story, going from point A to point B, where this has where you can do side missions like in Grand Theft Auto. You can do whatever you want and whenever you want, and then you have the main story to do overall. I do own the Definitive Edition. I bought the upgrade for my physical copy of Mafia 3. I mean, I love this game so much. I even own the Mafia 3 Collector's Edition, which comes with the soundtrack on vinyl, which is cool, and this is sealed. Very awesome. So I really love the Mafia series, and I love Mafia 3, so I love having that in my collection. But I also bought the Mafia 3 Collector's Edition Strategy Guide so that I could use this to find all the hidden secrets and stuff. Now, obviously, this doesn't cover the DLC that they added to the game, so unfortunately for any of that kind of stuff, you'll have to go online to find that, because they never did release a definitive edition strategy guide. Sometimes some games have done that where they'll re-release the strategy guide after the complete edition of the game has been released, and it adds like a revised version that adds all the DLC. But still, for the main story, it's really good. I love it. They have a regular strategy guide as well, but you guys know how I love my collection edition strategy guides. But this has all the strategies and tips and tricks for the missions, because the game can get kind of difficult at times too, depending on the difficulty you're playing on. I like to play this on medium difficulty, like I did with the other Mafia games. You know, I like to have a challenge to the game, but not too, you know, not impossible mode or anything like that. But I do like to play games to have a challenge to them, because it makes them fun for me. So I'm so glad to have this strategy guide, as this is coming in handy for me. Tells you about the different endings and different stuff to find, and then like where everything is at, outcomes, things like that. So I've really love having that. Great game. So let's check out Mafia 3. Hey friends, today we're taking a look at Mafia 3, which I'm a huge fan of the Mafia series. I beat Mafia, the Definitive Edition on Xbox One. I also beat Mafia 2 on the Xbox 360. And I started playing Mafia 3. Now, the last time I played Mafia 3 is back in 2020, so it's been 3 years. And I finally decided to pick my game back up, so let's check it out. And I do have the Definitive Edition, has all the DLC in it, which is really cool. So really, it adds 3 big DLC campaigns that add hours and hours of new missions and story stuff to go through, which is cool. I beat 2 of the 3, and I've been currently working on one of the 3 DLCs that I have not beat yet, along with the main story and obviously your side missions and stuff. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like Mafia 3 as much as Mafia 1 and 2, and I think a lot of people who were fans of those games, I guess they just weren't a big fan of the more open worldness that this game has, as you kind of can go around and do whatever you want, where you had such a sort of an open world in the other Mafia games, but you were limited on the stuff that you could do, and so they wanted to change that by making this game feel and play more like a Grand Theft Auto type of game. It's got pretty good graphics too, playing it here on the Xbox Series X. Now, there is no like Series X upgrade or anything, as this is an older game, so this was never optimized for the Series X. But obviously it will run better and perform better on the Series X. There are still occasional glitches and stuff that I do find in the game, but it's not very many. It's done a really good job with this game overall. You have a decent sized map here I'll show you guys that you can run around with the different districts that you are able to take over. So you do have quite a bit of area and stuff to drive around. So you have a pretty decent sized city. There's collectibles to get as well. You have your overall main stories, and then there's one of the DLCs, and then you have your optional chapters you can do. So you do have side quests and side missions and stuff to do in this game, which is really cool, because they didn't really have those kind of side missions in the previous Mafia games. You have your kill list of the Marcono Mafia family that you're trying to kill. I've killed 3 of the ones here. I still have the main boss, and then I still have these 3 and these other 3. So I've still got 7 of them to take out. This keeps track of all your assets, so you have your crime bosses that work for you, which is really cool too. Is Vito Scaletta from Mafia 2 is actually in this game. Now, he's not a playable character, but he actually works for you, which is really cool. So you do have your own crime mafia family that you are building to take on the Morcano family, which is really neat. You have your journal, which keeps track of all the things you've done in the story so far, and then here's where you can keep track of your collections. So you have Playboy magazine covers to collect, you have the Vargas paintings to collect, you have albums, music albums you find, you have religious things you collect, you have propaganda posters you collect, and then you also have hot rod stuff that you can collect as well. And then you do have some decent stuff in the controls. You can adjust the brightness and settings, you know, your typical stuff. I do have to let you know, though, that this game does only have like one main save file and does have auto-saving, and you can't make multiple saves like you could in like a Grand Theft Auto type of game, so you do have to be aware of that. But you can go on different missions and stuff, which will show up on your map like a Grand Theft Auto. If you want to go here, you can click on it, and you can actually go to different areas, and it will actually put a GPS on there for you once you're in a car, like how to get to that area, which is pretty neat. And you play as Lincoln Clay here, who's pretty cool. I will talk more about the story in my Friday segment of this. This is just me, you know, showing you guys some gameplay and stuff, but I'll talk more about that. Now, this does have classic music from the 60s and classic cars from that era. Obviously, I have to turn the radio off because it would be all copyrighted music, and my video would get copyright strike against it for having copyrighted music. But you do have some great classic tunes to listen to, and you also have some great cars here, which is pretty sweet. Controls, it does a pretty good job with the controls. I'm enjoying them. It can be a little wonky at times, and just like the way the cars are, so it doesn't control exactly like a Grand Theft Auto does, but it still controls pretty well. And the police will show up on blue, so you know where they are, because if they see you committing crimes, they will come after you, and you get a wanted level similar to like in a Grand Theft Auto type of game. You can actually rob places and rob for money and stuff. You can rob other gangsters here, take over their rackets, so that you can earn money and get the power and stuff, buy weapons. You can steal cars. So it's got a really good story, which I'm really enjoying. I'm about halfway through the story now. Played for probably like, let's say a good 30 hours now since 2020 when I first started playing it. And I've really, really been enjoying my time. It's got pretty good combat as well. Let's see if I can get somewhere to... It's got good voice acting as well. And I really do like the lighting, especially at nighttime in the city. I love the way the lights and everything look at night. Enemies in the game will show up as red blips on your map. And then you can find health, because Lincoln Clay does have 3 health bars, but he can also find armor to wear. And you gotta be careful because the enemies do pack a wallop. So you gotta be careful at times, because you can die real quickly depending on the type of weapons they have, because you can get a variety of pistols, different handguns, with like silencers, submachine guns, you get Tommy guns, you can get sniper rifles, you can get shotguns, so there's a variety of weapons to use, grenades, Molotov cocktails, so you do have a variety of weapons in your arsenal that you can get. There's also a bunch of DLC if you get the definitive edition like I did, or You can buy the Definitive Edition upgrade for if you have the regular copy of Mafia 3, and then you can get all the extra DLC, which gets extra weapons, it gets you new cars, some skin packs, and then it also gets you those 3 big DLCs that adds all that extra story content to the game, which I definitely think it is worth it as it extends the game that's already huge and just brings you even more content to go through. So this is definitely not a game that you would be beating real quick. Unless you just run a rush through and do the main story only and not take care of the side quest stuff or collectibles or anything. But I enjoy going through stuff like that. So, you have your weapon wheel with the left bumper one you can have out, and you can switch between your like a handgun and like a bigger weapon. But you also have these options you unlock, like you can use to get rid of police, dispatchers, the operator, because if
I need resupply, point for done.
NPCs find you out in the world doing a crime, they will go to a phone and they will call in the crime and report it to the police, and the police will come to that area. So this is, I just use the option to call an arms dealer, which is cool, and so I can pick up weapons from him. So he's a mobile dealer. I can use the money I have and I can buy different weapons. Like I said, you can see shotguns, handguns, automatic weapons, rifles, special weapons like grenade launchers and stuff. So there's all kinds of stuff. You can buy and refill your ammo. So if you ever get low on ammo, you can use your money to refill ammo, which is great. And then you can buy just a variety of stuff. You can get equipment. If you need vehicle modifications, so it's upgrading your suspension and armor and stuff. So this is all kinds of stuff you can do, supercharge your vehicle, that you will unlock as you play through the game and do stuff. So like obviously if this one says there's an access to do as a favor for Vito.
Good.
So just really cool having those little options available. You have one here, you get a hit squad, you can send a guy to come help you take people out. You have concierge, you can have, let's say you'll come and stash your money because you have money on your person, but if you die, you lose part of that money. That's your penalty for dying, where you want to keep that put in your safe so you don't lose it. Down the bottom end here, you can adjust like throwing knives, grenades, and different stuff. You have healing. You can heal yourself with healing packs, but you gotta find them. And then you also can call for vehicle delivery service too, which is really sweet. So there's really cool features in this game as well. So if you hold the left, push the left trigger, you can actually pull a gun out, and then that's how you can zoom in, and the right trigger button will actually shoot. And when you hit the LB button, you can actually switch weapons, and it's kind of hard, I know, to see me get somewhere to, like, there you go. You guys can see there's a reticle there where you can get, get headshots on guys and stuff, and you can make Link and Clay run. You can crouch down, get into cover and stuff so you can fight enemies. And sometimes you'll have backup with you, sometimes you won't, because you can get sometimes hit squads set after you when you're randomly driving around, and you can get caught. So you want to not be caught without having plenty of ammo on you and protection, because you just never know when you could get randomly ambushed. There's stealth that you can do in the game too, because you sometimes missions and stuff where you'll have, like, let's say this is the enemy, it's obviously not, but let's just say it was, you can sneak up on the enemies and do quick takedowns and kills. But you could also throw, like, I could throw a knife at an enemy and throw a throwing knife on them to do a silent kill, so you don't alert enemies, because sometimes you might break into a warehouse, as an example, and you're going there to steal something. Well, it'd make it easier if you don't get seen. Otherwise, you might have to have a firefight on your hand and have to kill 30 guys in there. But if you sneak in, you can kill guys real stealthily, go in there and steal what you want, and sneak back out. So it's pretty cool with the different stuff they have. Really liking the game. Been having a lot of fun with this. It's been so long since I played it, and I have always wanted to beat it. So I wanted to resume my game here and play through, but I'm really liking it. So if you guys like Mafia 1, you like Mafia 2, and you've never given Mafia 3 a chance, I definitely recommend it. I really like it because it's an open world Mafia game. It's definitely where the series needed to progress to. Definitely couldn't have a third one that was super linear. It's nice having an open world. So I don't know why a lot of people did not like the game as much. I thought it was awesome. I still think it's great. You know, it's got good graphics, great music. It's lighting is good. Voice actors are done really well. It's got great cutscenes. It's got an overall really decent story, which I won't go into too much detail because you guys know I don't want to ruin story for you. And this does have a heavy focus on the story. It does have multiple endings too, which is cool. So you can replay and do actions differently because that will affect your ending. You can affect how the lieutenants that you have on your team are, you know, how they view you based on how you treat them, because you end up taking over the city and then you start assigning your lieutenants to control different territories, and if you favor one over another one, you might actually upset that person. So you have to kind of play a balancing act and stuff. So it's really cool. Different variety of characters you'll run into in the world as you're playing through the different kinds of missions that you will take on. It's got a nice variety to that, and just overall a decent game that I think you guys should check out, especially if you're a fan of the Mafia series or you like games like Grand Theft Auto. Definitely give Mafia 3 a try. It's a really fun game and I'm having an absolute blast with it. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that look at Mafia 3. Awesome game. I'm having an absolute blast with. This is one that I'm definitely looking forward to beating, and I do want to 100% it. So it's definitely one that I'm going to be playing for quite a while. You know, there's a lot of hours of content in this game. All the stuff you want to do, you know, you could probably get at least 50 to 100 hours out of this, especially with the DLC and stuff. I've been playing for a little, like 25, 26 hours overall now, and I've really been having a blast with this game. Just love the story. I really like Lincoln Clay. You know, he's just a great protagonist to play as. I love having Vito in it from Mafia 2. That was so cool to see that character return, because I really love Vito too. So it's neat having the different games connected to each other, and it's just a shame that we never did get a Mafia 4. They keep, you know, there's always like rumors and stuff about it. I would love to see a Mafia 4. It would just be really, really cool to have a Mafia 4, because all three Mafia games are loosely based together. They all are in the same universe, even though their stories don't really overlap, but they are connected together. So Mafia 3, it's a really fun game, having a blast playing on my Xbox Series X. Highly recommend this. You can also get this on PlayStation 4. It'll work obviously on your PlayStation 5. You can get it for PC. Definitely recommend getting the definitive edition of Mafia 3 because you can get all the extra DLC. So that adds those 3 big story campaigns you can go through with lots of new missions to do, and you get some new weapon packs, you get new cars, and it just adds great stuff to an already awesome game, but it adds to it, which is really good. So I had a lot of fun with it. I definitely think you guys should check out Mafia 3. So if you guys have played Mafia 3, let me know. I love the music in the game as well. There's also the collectibles. You can find the Playboy magazines, so there is some nudity in the game because there does have the pinup models in there, so you can see them naked. There's also Vargas paintings of naked women too in the game, which is cool. They, you know, there's nothing wrong with seeing some nice tits and ass, so you do have that in the game. So those are some of the collectibles. You also can find albums and stuff from various artists at the time. So this has a great soundtrack of classic songs from the 60s too, classic cars from the 60s. So just overall, it's a really fun, well-crafted game. Now, I know this game gets a lot of hate. You know, it's the least popular of the 3 Mafia games that are out there, but I really do enjoy it. I think it's a good game. I definitely think you guys should give it a try, especially if you're a fan of the Mafia series. If you've never played it before, definitely give Mafia 3 a try. And if you like Grand Theft Auto and you've never played any of the games, I definitely recommend this one. It's really cool because you get to build your own Mafia family and get to take over New Bordeaux, and you get to rule it the way you want to. So definitely think you guys should check it out. Let me know your guys' thoughts, though, if you played Mafia 3 or not. Of course, I would love to hear about the games you guys are playing. If you guys have any recommendations on a game you think I might enjoy playing, I would also appreciate those. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see you next time.